And it is September 11th, 2016. It's been, let's see, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 9 days since I have recorded. I have a lot that has been going on tremendously. And at this point, it's okay whether I catch up to whatever I do catch up to because I'm still catching up to it anyway. Time is really compressing and compressing down more and more and more to the point where there is no more time. So anyway, the topic I'm going to speak on, because I'm going to be going backwards before I come into the present, I'm going to be talking about soul numbers. What is our soul number? This is something that I had been questioning. I remember when I asked Maya what was the significance of the 717 and the 17 and also the 616. So the 616 is how I'm accelerating back to union with myself, which includes myself and Ivan in the spiritual, physical, mental, emotional bodies, everything together coming together. So that's what the 616 represents. The 717 is an aspect of my soul number, and that is the number that's tracking to do with my I would say it's my soul number and how it is coming together from all of the fragmentation in and of itself. So every time I see 17 or an attachment to 17, it's showing me, or I'm being shown by my own soul, the acceleration of my growth and also everything that's connecting me to my soul number. So anyway, upon meeting Mandy, which I met her, I would say as far as being aware of her, she told me that she found me when I was on that conference call with Jen to the Twin Flame webinar. So anyway, I'm going to play back numerous segments of recordings and conversations between myself and Mandy, and part of it, not the entire thing, has to do with the soul number, how she came to discover her own soul number through my instigating it. And as of today, I should say today, yesterday, September 10th through the 11th, we have come to the conclusion that our soul numbers are linked together in increments of 10. So her soul number is 27, mine is 17. So it's increment 10. So either way, it's linked to 17. I mean, in increments of 10 and the number 7 in and of itself. So I believe then that the linkage number that is the overall, I believe, soul monad is number 7. That's the feeling that I'm getting with all of this. There's so much stuff for me to catch up with, so much stuff for me to talk about. I've been purging, going through so much things from the coming from the eclipse, coming from the 999 portal. It has been an enormous amount of energy to great maximum, is the best way I can put it. Very important that I know Spirit is going to want me to transcribe recorded conversations that I had from having an emotional breakdown. It was the most intense emotional breakdown I've ever had in my entire life, and just being triggered stemming from my daughter's birthday. So anyway, I might not even get to that recording as yet because I have days upon days of stuff that I need to transcribe leading up from one event to the next. So I cannot believe, but then again, I do believe it's been 2 weeks since my cousin's wedding, and I was speaking on things on alchemy. Alchemy and how we turn things back to joy based on all of the energies that are taking place, including we're still in Mercury retrograde, and Mercury retrograde started since August 28th, I believe, and it ends on September 22nd. Coming up this Friday is September 16th, which is another eclipse. Another eclipse, that's right. So the intensity seems to not stop. It goes on and on and on. It's like as if going at an accelerated rate of coming into union, but not only an accelerated rate of coming into union, but it's like an accelerated rate of coming into union and also anchoring the third energy, uh, twin flames, the first wave of twin flames coming into union to help to facilitate with the photon belt and all of those, everything just put into one. And I seem to be feeling as if that aspect of what's happening here, why it feels like I'm in a fast-paced school here. I mean, I don't usually like to refer to this experience as school and learning something or learning a lesson. It's more of just coming back into wholeness. And the energy of Mother God is where I had said this before many, many moons ago, as one would say, or many segments ago, is that the time is up as far as moving at a slow pace. There are times when we're going to be speeding things up even faster than before, then slow down a little bit. Now it's almost like as if there's hardly any space in between to get rest from this. It has been so much pressure, so much tenseness. There's some twin flames that are still getting into arguments against one another. And if the one thing that I still keep emphasizing on, and I'll emphasize it again and again and again, is that we are all one. And meaning, when I say we're all one, I want to explain this and break this down even more, because I realize how much more of a teacher that I am here for, based on those who I'm interacting with, to have a greater understanding of this. There are moments, yes, where we're going to separate from one another, okay? And we use the reference as, I don't resonate with this one, I don't agree with this one, this doesn't feel good with this one, or this one pisses me off, or whatever the case may be, but it's some form of separation. I want you to understand that that form of separation to whom you refer to, or the event itself, is still God. Still God. We are still gods and goddesses on the earth. It is only temporary. In most cases, it's temporary, because I'm telling you, what's happening is that the energies are so tense and so high at the same time that we are starting to feel each other's pains and emotions. We're feeling even what someone else is experiencing. Now, it takes great skills and mastery, of course, to not hold on to it, of course, and to take it in as your own. But as you start to speak something out into the energy, into the universe, whatever it may be, there's something called a cause and effect. The cause and effect is coming in faster in frequency, meaning that as you say it, it comes back, boom, immediately. Okay, it's not where it's taking time to travel and come back. It is happening now. It is happening. Be very conscientious and conscious of what you are saying to others and what you're putting out there. If you choose to separate yourself from someone, or if you choose to not listen to what someone else has to say and honor their similarities and differences, you will feel pain. And it is true. You will feel pain, because we are now connecting to each other. It's almost like connecting wires, okay? And it's coming in as frequencies. It's energy, okay? The energy cannot be destroyed. It cannot be placed in a box and hidden away. It's all coming out. Everything that's hidden is coming out into the open. So that means all the nastiness, the ugliness, the beauty, the strength, the weaknesses, the yin yang. Everything and all the things that you are and are not is what's coming out. And if you choose to ignore who you're not is going to keep showing up in your space. Who you are is going to show up in your space, so you get a reflection of that too, so that way you look at who you are and also what you're not. I hope I'm making sense. Everything to who you are in polarity is what you're seeing, because you see, what his spirit is showing me is that the essence of duality is collapsing more and more and more. So we are now bringing ourselves closer to the realm of the absolute. So the realm of the absolute and the realm of the relativity is coming together more and more and more, because heaven is now here on earth already. It's not coming here. It's not about to be here. It's already here. So when I say the realm of the absolute and the realm of the relativity, I'm speaking in terms of the fact that those of our loved ones who are on the other side are in the realm of the absolute. Everything that's in the realm of the absolute is in this absolute beauty and absolute love. There is no separation on the other side. It's in its purity. Everything is in love. Everything is in just peacefulness and absoluteness. Okay. Does that mean that you're just sitting there looking in space in this realm of absoluteness? No, you're still being yourself. You still have your personality. You're still involved. Okay. But you're in blissfulness. You're in joy. Okay. There is no duality there. Here on the earth, on this planet, is the realm of relativity. That means things are looked at and experienced relatively. We are seeing things in different perspectives, different eyes, different ways. This is where we're having polarities, the ups, downs, the lefts, right, one side opposite of the other side. That's what being in the realm of the relative is all about. And so what that means is that we are, say for instance, you choose to experience forgiveness, okay? The act of someone doing something to you that brings you to a space of whether you're going to forgive them or not. It's not taking long anymore, okay? It's not where we got to come back in another life and, let me see if I feel like forgiving this person for what they're doing. It's not like as if it's sitting in your memory, but it's already there. And it's like all these experiences are coming together and crunching into one. And we're spewing out all the stuff that is not feeling so great, that what you would say goes against you, that you're unhappy, it doesn't serve you, you're holding on to it tight, and it's time to release it. As you're releasing it, you are alchemically pushing yourself up further into another level of consciousness. As you're pushing up this into another level, you're anchoring down again back into your physical body. So you go up, you come back down. It's like being in a washing machine, and then it's pressurized and it's alchemized, and it's like the fire in you is coming out with anger. Then I was telling this to Mandy, and then what happens when the fire burns, then what, it turns to ashes, and then the ashes, what they say, ashes to ashes, dust to dust, right? Go back to the earth again. So you go into another form again. Okay, so you say, what form? What is my body changing? Yes, it's going through another change. So you're alchemizing this. And how are you alchemizing this? It's like it turns to ashes. The ashes, when I say ashes, your body's not turning into ashes itself. I want you to visualize yourself as these elements now. The fire in you, when you start to become aggressive, when you start to push something out, okay, pushing it outwardly, it's almost like it becomes combustible, right? The anger, the frustration, and this starts happening within your solar plexus. So then it turns to ashes, and then this is everything I'm telling you now. I'm not reading this anywhere. Didn't read it anywhere, or someone told me. This is all what Spirit is showing it to me in visual. I'm seeing all of this in pictures. And so it turns to ashes, and then these ashes itself burns, and then it what goes into the air, and then it also connects to the elements of the earth, it back to dust again and dirt. Then it forms into something else again, right? So you say, well, what do I form into again? So that part of your higher self and your lower self is merged together, and what happens is you're recalibrating your light body and your physical body. Eventually, your light body takes on more than the physical body until only parts of your physical, because see, before it was your physical body, and then you're accessing your light body, okay? So now it's like your light body is starting to take over more into who you are more than your physical body. And so as we continue to ascend and more and more and more and recalibrating like an engine, okay, parts of your physical body will be within the aspect of the light body until eventually we have less of the physical body. And this is how the changes that we'll be going through in your body. And that's why at some point your body is not going to need actual food, and certain food your body will be rejecting. It's almost like we're going backwards and forwards at the same time, and it's speeding up rapidly, rapidly, rapidly. Your soul has a lot of cell memory from when things were in the beginning of time. So it's recalibrating all the stuff from the beginning of time to all the stuff that you've accumulated in this lifetime, recalibrating through fire, through water, through air, and the sun, all of this. Okay, so we're attaining knowledge, and all of this knowledge is coming down through the crown chakra, and then it's also working through the heart chakra, and of course your throat, and then moving to the solar plexus, and then of course to your down to your feet. Okay, so all the chakras are in motion now. So before, where it was only one step at a time, now Spirit is telling me it's like everything all at the same time. Everything is being recalibrated. I mean, it's almost like truly like a train track engine with a car put together all at the same time. And with all of this going on, there is no handbook, there's no pamphlet, there is no guidebook here. What stage are you at with this, with all this recalibration going on? It is just happening. Some of us are going through it in different phases, and some of us are not, because there are those who are refusing to not want to look at things for themselves and just ignore it, and then you feel more pain. Then there are some who are looking at it, but then they're not understanding what's going on. Everything is happening in conjunction to the earth, also ascending, so don't think that you're the only one that's experiencing it. The earth is ascending with us at the same time. The earth is recalibrating with us at the same time. We are a part of the earth is a part of us, you see. So there is no running away from it, no exiting any of this. You can't exit out of this. Even if you leave out of your physical body, you're still having to face things. The difference to when you're doing this while you're in the body, of course, this is based on observation. And then when you're doing it outside of your body, there is an observation, but it's a different element that you are going through when it's just when you're just outside of your body completely, meaning that you died. Okay, so there are some who are not able to handle it while they're in the body. It is too much, and they decide to leave. At some point, God is just going to take back those who are not interested, because it becomes a choice. If you're choosing not to want to face your own shit, face your mirrors, stay within the unity consciousness. Okay, now I want to explain something more further about unity consciousness, because I can feel and see that there's still so much separation going on when it comes to the collective. And when I say separation consciousness, I'm talking about when you're at that place where you're saying, I don't resonate with this one, or I don't like what this one is doing around me, or I don't feel good or comfortable around this, or I'm cutting this one off, whatever. Remember, we are ascending and descending at the same time. All of the aspect of God is doing this along with us on the same boat. Okay, whether it's an animal or a human being or any species for the matter, we are all going through this awakening and ascension. There is no exceptions to this at all. There's no stopping this. No one can stop this. Okay, not even the dark forces, whatever you call the dark forces. Okay, when you understand, as I can give you that biblical story of Yeshua, when the disciples said, why are you wasting your time on those who don't understand? They didn't say it in those specific words, but that's exactly what they were saying. Why are you wasting time on this person who is a sinner, or this one, or the children? When Jesus says, suffer the little children to come unto me, right? And then you have those that the disciples were speaking of, why waste time on the sinners and those who are whores or all that stuff? Why you let Mary use her hair to wipe your feet? Okay, so Jesus made reference, aka Yeshua, that he's here for everyone. Okay, not just one set. So even if one person has one belief and another one does another belief, another one does this, we're not to judge anyone whatsoever in any way or capacity. You don't know what that soul is up to. God chooses to experience through each and every one of us through all levels. Okay? And that means that even if one decides to be a dummy, or one decides to be intelligent, or one decides to know more or less than the other, one decides to just be new age, or the other one decides to be religious or philosophical or spiritual, okay, it doesn't matter. It is still an aspect of God in choosing to experience everything in many ways, in multiple ways, through different eyes and different perspectives and different levels of frequencies. Yay! Do you have it? Do you understand now? This is what is happening now. Eventually, we will all lead back to the one source, because that's where we're heading at a faster, accelerated pace. That's right. And for some of us, it may mean more grinding. And while we're grinding, be good to yourself, be good to one another. If you need to separate, fine. You don't even have to do anything. The universe will do it for you. Okay? Because I've said this before, when you deliberately go out of your way to unfriend, deactivate, cut someone off, lash out and all these things, you are going to be feeling the same thing that they're feeling. You are. And it's just gonna kind of haunt you in a way. So you can hold a space for someone with love. Understand that, yes, even if they irritate you, annoy you, or do something against you, whatever, forgive. If you feel you can't forget, work on forgetting, because when you consume it in your heart over and over again, all you're doing is hurting yourself. You really are. You're hurting yourself. And you're wasting more time in a lower energy and a lower frequency if you keep nitpicking about something over and over again. If you feel the need to do it, just go back up again. Because I know there's some people that just stay stuck in that field, that energy field of arguing and fussing and fighting and all this stuff. And yes, a lot of stuff is coming up to the surface because this is for us to work through this and get rid of it once and for all. And that means that it's almost like as if you're in a space of, regurgitating. But when you vomit, do you swallow back the vomit again? I know some people do. I mean, I've heard of some people do that, when they're drunk or something. When you vomit, do you go back and drink it again? I know it sounds gross, but that's what I'm talking about. Why go over something that's not so pleasant over and over and over again? Why? What's the purpose? I know there's some cases where you are experiencing something over and over again, because why? Because it's something for you to look at once and for all, transmute through it, okay? We're not getting rid of it. We're transmuting here now. This is what Spirit has been showing me over and over again. We are transmuting. This is a part of the alchemical process that's taking place. The alchemy is that you're burning through things, because even when I was, oh my God, when I was going through all this shit for the past few days, my body was getting so hot and I was perspiring. It's like if the water was just dripping off of me, like being in a furnace. And and all of this was stuff purging. I was going to the bathroom so often. I took like 4 baths in one day. 4 baths. I've never done that before. But this is what it does. This is what it is. And your body is burning this fuel. And it's burning this fuel. And it means you're burning calories, right? You're burning something off. But it's not like you're getting rid of it. It is recalibrating. It is alchemizing, okay? It is shifting into another element, okay? Shifting to another element, because it's just like you eat food. It goes through your body, goes through your stomach, put it through your mouth, goes through your stomach starts to process it, then it breaks down into enzymes, then after that it goes into your liver, and then after that I believe it goes through as far as I don't know if it's your kidney or whatever aspect of your body, and then as it works through your colon, then eventually comes out of your ass, right? You're either urinating it or you're defecating it. One way or another, it's coming out. And as it comes out, it's going in the toilet, going in the water, then that gets recycled again. Okay, because if you believe that it's not, trust me, it is, okay? Everything is being recycled. When it's recycled, does it mean it's being getting rid of? No, it's just changing into another form. Well, this is what's happening to your body. Your body is going through another energetic change and form. Also, your energy fields as well. Your soul is going through what do you call a metamorphosis, okay? Everything is being recalibrated. Everything is being alchemized, okay? And the element of water plays a part in it too, okay? So you have the water, the fire, and the sun. We're receiving data, and a lot of information and stuff is coming through from the central sun as well. The planets are aligned already for everything to what you're experiencing on all levels. Now it feels like as if it's grinding in the mill. That's what it feels like. It's grinding in the mill. And the portals that took place with 9/9 is what's helping to facilitate this acceleration, because it's almost like coming to a completion with certain things, like really pushing things out once and for all. But as you push things out, you're pulling in stuff at the same time. So that's why it can feel like you're discombobulated, you're wanting to sleep often, drink a lot of water, follow guidance to when you're feeling to go and get some rest, because the rest is necessary, because the body is I would say moving through its system with all of the energy and all of the data, and also purging out at the same time. So it's almost like being on a belt, you know, where you make cookies. I'm just giving an example, and you're on a conveyor belt, and you're going through this motion and that motion and this motion and this way and that way, and then you're going through one step at a time, and then here comes the finished product. Okay, the thing about it is that we're not becoming a finished product in an absolute way. We are constantly recalibrating, constantly shifting, it is a great design that's taking place here. This has never been done before, is what Spirit tells me all the time, and I've heard some other people saying the same thing. It has never been done before. This is the first time. It's not an experiment. You know, if the one thing I know about God is that everything is being divinely orchestrated. Everything is being orchestrated and designed according to plan. Once again, I'm hearing this message. There is no stopping any of this. Everything is coming together. As a matter of fact, another thing that was revealed to me on Friday is that a rubber band effect is taking place, okay? It's like whatever has been in the void, it must come back to that void, to that space. Like if anything gets stretched out as far as it can go, it still comes back. And this is in regards to twin flames, because those who are concerned or worried about if they'll ever be with their twin again, or it's going to happen automatically. There is no stopping any of this, because everything has to come into place in the exact timing and the exact way, especially for those who were what we call them, the firstborn, the first pair, the first primeval pair of twin flames, the original data. You know, it's like there's an original of something that's coming together that was given birth by Mother God, okay? And she had sent us out to venture into the world, to gather up data, incarnate, and to feel through all these experiences, right? Based on what we know. But we had to cause ourselves to forget what we know, even though what we know was within us. But we had to keep on remembering ourselves to who we are, and how are we doing it? Through each other. And that's why I say that for all those who are teachers, okay, whether you're a spiritual light worker, teacher, pastor, it doesn't matter, okay, twin flame teacher, we all have information to share in all different ways. One is not better than the other. Take I don't even say it. I hardly ever say this, but to take what you take and leave the rest behind. What I'm saying is allow yourself to hear each other out. Allow yourself to understand, to, gather up. Just like, do you think the squirrel, when the squirrel is gathering up nuts, because the squirrel knows to gather up nuts before winter, right? To prepare itself. Do you think the squirrel cares where the nuts are coming from, or do you think the squirrel is just gathering up the nuts? Do you think the squirrel cares if a little bit of dirt got here, a little bit of water got over here, or a little bit of something got on these nuts? Or you think the squirrel just gathering up the nuts, right? Because it knows that it's necessary for itself, okay? So this is how God, the overall entire encompassed energy of God, is gathering up her and himself through each and every one of us, right? Through all of the data. This is the grandest design that has been ever created through the entire cosmos of God. You have no idea, but then again, some of you do, how grand God is. The human brain cannot fathom this type of consciousness, okay? Whatever we tap into is just a part of the particles of the other particles that are in these subliminal and maximum aspect to who God is, okay? And it could almost come across like a game, but it's not a game. And then again, it is. Every time when God talks to me, it's a dichotomy. It's a it and a not, a this and a that, yes or no, maybe so. That's how I communicate with God. I have a direct communication with God most of the time. That's how it is with me. This is how I receive messages upon messages upon messages. I receive more direct communication from God than I do from ascended masters. And when I do receive the downloads and the information, it's like, shit, I gotta get it out. I gotta, remember I said it comes in, you gotta come out, right? You go in, you come out. I mean, the only difference when it doesn't happen is roach motels. And as far as I'm concerned, I'm not in a roach motel. So I'm coming out, and I think about that song, I'm coming out, so we're all coming out. We're all coming out into something, somewhere where, you say, over the rainbow, what? We're all coming out. We're all becoming something more grander. It's like I see a huge smile on God's face. I do. And this smile is a smile pleasing because God sees every single one of us as the beloveds. We're all the beloved aspect of God. We are all children of God. We are all this aspect of God. And God enjoys, believe it or not, God enjoys the controversy and the not so controversy. Okay? It's a pleasure. And it's not so pleasurable too at the same time. Some of us choose to experience things in the light, and some of us choose to experience things in the dark. When I say in the dark, meaning that God has yearned to know itself. When I say itself, I'm referring to the union aspect of God instead of separating. Okay. So God chooses to know itself through the controversy too, and the lower aspects of itself, to know itself in the dark, where sometimes, remember when I had referred to that Helen Keller moment, when Helen Keller came to visit me in spirit, and she was showing me how she became enlightened while she was in the dark, because she couldn't see nor could she hear. So she was in the complete dark, but yet still she was so brilliant. She still connected herself to the one, to the all. And she was rebelling at first. If you remember her story, she was rebelling. She was angry. She was infuriated, until at one point she surrendered. She surrendered. Who did she surrender to? The all. She surrendered to the all. Surrendering to all. Surrendering to everything. To herself. To her parents. To God. To the universe. To everything. At some point, all the fussing and the fighting is just gonna come to an end. We'll be existing in a world on the earth For those who are on that path where there are no more wars and battles, those days will be over. So you can choose to allow yourself to understand, move towards it, work together instead of discriminating against one another. It's so sad to see how so many are just choosing not to accept themselves completely. Because accepting yourself completely means that you also accept those who are not like you. If we were all the same, how boring that would be. If we were all the same, then what would we get out of it? It wouldn't be the same, you know? So look at how you can see yourself and understand yourself and get back to yourself through the light and the dark. Okay? And when I say through the light and the dark, meaning that sometimes we can't see ourselves because we're so bright that it takes the darkness to come forth in order for us to see ourselves in the light. Some of us are seeing ourselves while we're in the dark, and it does not mean that they're worse or they're evil. They're in the dark, and the only way for them to see themselves in the dark is by turning off the light. And when the light is turned off, that's when they see. Eureka! So while we are going through all these different experiences in different ways, through different eyes, I mean, some of us even see things through different eyes even while we're blind. And it's so sad to know sometimes that the ones who have the eyes to see, the physical eyes to see, are still not seeing it. And there are those who are blind, but they still see. And there's those who are deaf and they still hear. That's why come back to scriptures again. Blessed are those who have ears to hear and eyes to see. Seeing things through each other's eyes. Really. It's so simple. If only human beings can get that it's really as more simpler than you think. It really is. So anyway, I guess I'm supposed to talk about this more than going into my conversations that I had previously, the soul numbers. I'm kind of doing like a summary, so to speak, before I get into it, because, whenever I'm talking in the motion of the excitement, you can feel it, and I get so many synchronicities back to back. And what it does for me is it brings me into a higher state of knowledge. And I love to be at that place. And the reason is because it helps me to get through what I'm going through. Okay? It takes me out of a space of ignorance. It brings me even more into the light. And it also helps me to have more patience and attain more wisdom. So that's one of the reasons why what I love about myself is that I seek to know. And because I seek to know, the energy comes towards me with things becoming clearer, with signs, synchronicities, messages. And that's why I receive them. If you close off your mind and stay in the dark, that's another way, aka, to not wanting to hear something, or you turn yourself away from listening to somebody else's YouTube channel if something pops up, or somebody else posting, or somebody's email, or whatever the case may be. It could be as so subliminal, and it could be sublime, both. And you never know that person may have something that could be a missing piece to your puzzle. And it could be anyone, as one would call extraordinaire, or someone that is what you call common. Who makes up these labels? Who says that one person is common and more extraordinary than the other? Unless, of course, you say so. But to tell someone else that they're that, I believe you're judging. So, and then again, I don't want to judge those who are judging either, because they could be observing too, just like me. I was accused of judging someone when I was actually observing. But then again, that's all in perspective now, isn't it? I just love these dichotomies. They're just so incredible. You know, when you get to that place where you realize that all of life and all of these numbers, mathematical numbers and colors and frequencies and matrices and geometric forms and belts, photon belts, of course, not the belts you wear around your waistline. They all mean something. They're all significant. So if they're all significant and we are a part of it, then does that make one aspect of it better than the other? Or is it still intact in places to where it is? Whether it's lower or higher or in the middle. Now, it happens automatically where one may, as one say, drop off the map, fall off the map, so to speak. And that's in reference to those who are not vibrating to the same or similar frequency as the other. It's almost like tearing off a piece of your skin. And when I say tear off a piece of your skin, that means that there's that aspect of you that's shedding off what can't serve or hold on to that vibration when you're accelerating. Until when that person who's a part of you reaches to that state, if they do, because sometimes there's some cases where some people stay stuck and they don't move any further than where they are in consciousness. Once again, it does not mean that you're better than that state of consciousness. It just is. Okay? So just like how we have plus and minuses. So Spirit is showing this to me mathematically. I guess I'm in school now, in class. Class is in session. I gotta put some humor in this shit, because if we don't do this, then it become boring. So remember, like how you have to the positive power and the negative power. So when you reach to that center, it becomes zero, right? Zero returns it back with any number. Any number that is multiplied by zero is still zero, right? That's what I remember in school. I love maths, but I didn't like it when I was in college. But I love statistics. That was my favorite subject. So I love statistics, and I liked a little bit of geometry, trigonometry. I barely remember that. But at least I remember this basic math, is that when you add up the numbers and whether it goes on the positive side, and then when it goes below zero, it becomes negative, right? Now, it's not negative meaning that it's bad. It's just that's a number. It counts. It still counts. So Spirit shows me that we're all reaching to a point where we're in the middle. And when I say in the middle, it's like we call it a median. And that's when we are at what we call the void or 0 point. Everything starts from nothing and then it becomes something. So we started from zero, and then we started to multiply and multiply and multiply. Some decided to go in the positive frequency band. Some decided to go to the lower frequency band, right? Just like a radio freaking station. We have many frequency bands. Somehow the numbers were going to go up or they go down. Like that song, what goes up must come down, and it's a fact. It's a fact. So when we look at these numbers now, as they multiply and multiply, just visualize yourself and yourselves, because there's so many aspects of ourselves. We all are on different frequencies, different numbers, different cycles of numbers. And some of us are holding on to both aspects, the positive and the negative, because that's the polarity. And then when we're at that median 0 point, this is a part of how we're balancing while we're in, that 0 point. So in other words, when you are on this path of self-mastery, when you're going through an experience where you're feeling bad, or what one would say bad, or you're going through something negative, or you're purging through something, right? You're transmuting it. You are processing it, right? because you get to choose at the moment how you want to process it, unless spirit is also pushing you into the direction of processing it, whether you like it or not, i.e. you go to sleep, or you go drink some water, go for a walk, anchor it in, and sometimes you don't even know what the heck to do. And all I say is allow, just allow. And you're still, as I said, taking on both aspects, because it's like spirit is saying you need both aspects to alchemize it. In other words, you need both the positive and the negative to alchemize what you're going through. Okay? So say, for instance, you're feeling holly, folly, jolly for the day. All of a sudden, somebody comes and just fucks it up. Okay? But I only say it in this way because I went through that yesterday. It's like I was feeling relaxed and peaceful. And then I had to make a phone call to do with my cell phone, and my cell phone carrier decided to just piss me off. And I was like, oh my God. And so what I did one of those comedians that made a joke. I said, it was, oh my gosh, what's his name? These names again. Bill Bellamy. When he said that black people, when we got problems, we go take a nap. So in my case, not only did I take a nap, I went to sleep. Now, I was already feeling exhausted from being on a webinar to deal with the 9/9 portals, and it was so much heaviness I was feeling in my body, and a lot of the masculine consciousness was anchoring in. I had such a headache, and I went to sleep. As a matter of fact, I even fell asleep in my clothes last night into the morning. I was up by 7:30 in the morning. Usually I'm going to bed by 7:30 or 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock in the morning. So what was interesting is that I fell asleep, woke up, and then I said, I got a call to make arrangements to do it, my cell phone bill. And then, of course, I got so irritated and annoyed. And no matter what I did, I spoke to about 5-6 representatives. They were all giving me the same runaround friggin' answers, and it was so annoying. It didn't make any sense why this was happening, because this has never happened to me before. And the last one I said to him, I said, how long have I been with AT&T? You tell me. He said since 2006. So I counted it, and I said, that's 10 years. And you still can't do it? And I said, oh my God, can't anyone use their brains? So this is when I said, you know what? It's either I choose to stay in that frustration and anger or whatever, or I can change it. So I was trying to figure out what to do in the meantime, going through all that bullshit, as I labeled it as bullshit, right? But I still knew in the end, the universe was trying to help me with something here. So I then realized that I was just gonna trust, and I had to surrender, because that means that I had to do some readings. I didn't want to do that, but the universe had been pushing me for that, and I was like, oh God, and coming to that place of trust. So I did that, and I said, you know what? I don't want to stay feeling funky like this anymore. So when I woke up from my nap, of course, I had some dreams too. Dreamt about a whole pile of shit. My grandmother. But that's a good sign, though. In my country, when you dream about doo-doo shit, whatever you want to call it, that signifies wealth, money, so on and so forth. While I was still going through all my cleansing and purging, and I dreamt that I was at a wedding, like a different wedding, and it was beautiful gold, I would say monastery type of things that I saw. I don't even remember the conversations that I was having. But anyway, I wanted to just mention this. I don't want to come off topic, but everything's just happening all at the same time. So I ended up thinking about playing my own segment to something that I had made on the 2nd of September. And I didn't post it. And when I started to listen to myself, because I even get triggered by my own self. That's right. I don't discriminate against myself. And this topic was joy. And I have many topics to do with joy in my recordings, but this was different. This was about joy about having joy, or how do I choose joy while I'm in the funk, while I'm going through all these energies, feeling depressed, sad, weird, feeling discombobulated, feeling like I'm out of it, don't know where I am, what am I doing, oh my God, I know it, I know, I'm going through it too, there's no exception for me. Feeling like I'm just like a hermit, don't go anywhere, and just, here, that's it, no TV, no music playing, nothing, just here. I even started yelling at the kids because they weren't doing what they're supposed to do, and then Ivan's picture just popped up in my phone. I was like, what the fuck? And I threw the phone in my bag. Because I was like, oh my God, I was like, how did these things happen? But this is what happens, So his higher self just brought the picture to me, and he said, like he's saying, I'm here. It's okay. I'm here. And this is for real. And so all of that happened through all this whole entire thing. So when I'm listening to my segment on joy, I thought to myself, you know what? I started to feel something shifting within me. It was even for a few moments. And I realized that, you know what? Let me shift back to some joy. Even if it was just a little tiny bit. And I said to myself, okay, because this is me having a conversation with myself, and I was like, wow, all I had to do was shift my thoughts and come back to joy. No matter how I was feeling, irritated, annoyed, feeling helpless, and more annoyed. I'm just telling you how I was feeling. And, I just surrendered. And I started listening to it, and I was like, wow, I got to follow my own advice. So it shifted something within me. It really did. And you know what? There is no special formula to this. But you do have the option to shift things when you make a choice. You do. And there is no wrong choice or right choice. So even if you choose to understand something in the light or through the dark, that's fine. But I know that once you make that choice, it does shift things. It really does. And all of this is a part, again, this is all a part of the alchemy. Because you see, we're not only alchemizing with our physical bodies, we're also doing this with our mental bodies, emotional bodies, etheric bodies. Allowing ourselves to detach from outcomes, detach from what we're feeling, okay? And it doesn't mean that you are being unfeeling. What I'm saying is detaching from the emotions, what upsets us, what triggers us, okay? And when, as Neil Donald Walsh says, when you can laugh with your pain, when you can laugh with your issues, or when it happens again, or if it happens again and it doesn't affect you, my gosh, that's like an ace in a hole. And so what helps is if you allow yourself to get the details and understand what you're experiencing and why you're experiencing it. And allowing yourself to come back to the light, to the positive side of things. Even if it means turning on the physical light itself, it makes a difference for you. And if it means turning on some music, listening to something positive, having someone to communicate with to help you through it, then do so. You don't have to do it by yourself. 2 heads are better than 1, really. And one of the promises that has always been made, and it still exists, is that God has promised to never leave you alone. And it is true. You do not have to face it alone. I know that sometimes we have to tear down these walls while we are on the mountaintop, as one would say, or in the corner, so to speak. What better way than to have that communion with God, or I would say that relationship with God, than to have those moments by yourself. So I do understand that some of the separation that occurs is on purpose for that. But the separation I'm talking about are the ones where there is judgment and actual physical pain that is being put upon each other, verbal abuse, criticizing, judgment, not allowing yourself to hear what others have to say, and seeing both sides of the coin, putting yourself in each person's shoes while you're going through all of this. And also, in the meantime, that you allow yourself to understand why it is happening. What is it that you're working through? What is it that's triggering you? What is it that's affecting you? And where is it coming from? So I hope this helps. I know that there is so much, as one would say, there's so much more on heaven than Horatio, as one would say. Don't quote me on who said it and if I said it correctly, but you know what I'm talking about. There's so many sayings out there. I say that. So many sayings out there. But that is what I wanted to share. Or I should say, this is what Spirit wanted me to talk about. Coming through to me like a vessel. I am the vessel. And when you, as I said, allow yourself to understand the nature of who you are, the nature of who I am, the nature of who we all are together with this, regardless of the stage of your own spiritual evolution, then you really are allowing yourself to master through that center, through that void, where we come back to that gravity. Because you see, everything is gravitating back to its natural state. That is where we're heading to, and, whether we like it or not. I mean, it's like, oh my God. I said to Mandy, I said, we have all these different effects. We have the rubber band effect. Now I'm hearing in my head the Mandela effect. I don't even know what that is, but I guess I'll be looking that up soon. The butterfly effect, which that relates to twins and twin flames. And then we have, okay, so I said the butterfly effect. Then I said the rubber band effect. Oh gosh, I wish I could remember what the other one was, but I remember when I said it in my recordings yesterday. Not my recordings, my conversations with Mandy yesterday. It was absolutely incredible. I mean, it's truly like being in Adventureland. That's what it had been like being in Adventureland. One cannot even imagine what this experience is like as a twin flame, except for those who are twin flames, the magnitude of what it is when you're in the experience itself. But what happened with Mandy and myself is that we were experiencing synchronization between ourselves at the same time for each other. So in other words, I was seeing things to do with her that was in relation to me, and she was receiving things in relation to me through herself. And it was just amazing. And her twin and my twin were in collaboration with it too at the same time. So it was just amazing. Absolutely amazing. So at some point, I am going to play those segments as well. There is so much for me to catch up with, as I stated before. And I just want to go in sequence as one thing led to the other, because the experiences that I'm having and also what Mandy's having is what I'm transcribing to help those who are also coming into union, whether you're on the same wavelength as me or not. So that way you have a more detailed understanding of what's happening, where it's not just on the surface. It's not just saying, oh, gee, there's a photon belt going on here, or, oh, gee, we're in Mercury retrograde, or it's a full moon, or half moon, or crescent moon. No, this is so that way you have a greater understanding. You know, like I stated before, knowledge is power, but when you use it, if you don't use it, then what good is it for you if you're not using it? Makes a difference. Okay, so I'm now going to trying to decide what to do here. Break in between. I think because I always love to break in between the talking because I feel about the talking business. And then I'm gonna start playing the segments. I'm gonna start playing the segments of the conversation. So there you go.
It's getting late. Time marches on. Just can't wait. The clock keeps turning. Why hesitate? You silly fool. You can't change your fate. Let's cut the rug. Little jive and gentle run. We want the best. We won't settle for less. Don't be a drag. Participate. Clamps on the half shell and roller skates. Roller skates. Good time. Think of the good time. Leave your cares behind. Think of the good times. Good times. Think of the good times. On you stay alive. Think of the good times. We are family. I got all my sisters with me. We are family. Get up, everybody, and sing. We are family. I got all my sisters with me. We are family. Get up, everybody, and sing. Everyone can see we're together as we walk on by, and we fly just like birds of a feather. I won't tell no lie. All of the people around us, they say